there is a problem with the FCTC because FCTC is not looking at each individual's human beings, respecting their dignity, respecting their choice based on real, sincere information. They just say, stop, quit or die. If you cannot quit cigarettes, you are going to die, and in that case, we don't care. So as an oncologist, as a clinician, I cannot accept that. Now, if you look at the objective of the FCTC was to get a lower number of people having diseases related to tobacco smoking and deaths related to tobacco smoking. Did it happen after 20 years? Not at all. We had at that time more than 1 billion people smoking. We still have more than 1 billion people smoking. There is not less people dying from lung cancer, head and neck cancer, bladder cancer, all the cancers that are related to tobacco smoking. So we know now, by experience, you are talking about the practical life, we know now in the practical life that this doesn't work. Increasing taxes, the health messages and so on, it can work for some time, but at the end of the day, it doesn't work. We have more and more smokers, tobacco smokers, and more people dying from this disease. What happened is that people are buying illicit cigarettes now, and so instead of taking into account the results of science, they prefer to ban all these products coming from innovation and science and let people just, as an alternative, continue to smoke cigarettes. And we know that cigarettes is very bad. So why don't we give people a chance to get something less harmful for the health? In low and middle income countries, even worse, because information is even less accessible and people have less choices. And this is a place where the situation is even worse than the rest of the world.
Romania has a high smoking prevalence. In your view, what role should local context and consumer behavior play in shaping future tobacco control policies under the FCTC?
As long as you don't promote a way to help people quitting combustible cigarette, I mean the classical cigarette, people will continue to smoke because it's an addiction. And it's not easy to get rid of that addiction. It's like for IV drug or alcohol. It's exactly the same issue. So banning prohibition is not working because people will get products from illicit trade and they will not get information about the risk of that. So it's better to not to ban, to authorize, but control and to endorse. So, but as long as you ban, you have no control on that because it's illicit. So it's better to accept and to control and to endorse.
It doesn't matter in which field, not only tobacco. The ban will not work.
You know, the states, United States in the 20s, they have made prohibition on alcohol. Did it work? No. Finally, in 1933, they stopped the prohibition because people were continuing to drink. You have mob, mafia, violence and everything. So it's better to not to ban, to accept, but to control.
Thank you. Do you believe the FCTC has become too rigid or ideologically driven to adapt to the new scientific evidence and consumer behavior? And if so, why do you think this should be the case?
It is the case. What you've said, it's absolutely free. Today it's politically driven, ideologically driven. But I am optimistic and I'm sure that slowly things will change and they will accept what science has brought to the field of addictions. And with THR, they will finally... because in the real FCTC, it's not written that it's forbidden. It's just the interpretation of it. So I'm optimistic. I'm sure that in a few years, they will work with these products and help people quitting smoking or getting nicotine on a different way than with combustible cigarette that gives cancer.